Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of EETV, where I strive to bring everything and entertainment. Sorry, I've been away taking care of some work things, but I just picked up Power Rangers: The Return #1 from my local comic book shop yesterday, and I have to give a review on it because I'm such a big Power Rangers fan. And yes, I did support the Kickstarter, and I love hardcovers, so I got the hardcover. But as those of you who also ordered through Boom Studios Kickstarter, we won't be getting our orders until I think November of 2024. So I definitely had to go and get the trade paperbacks. I had to get the comics just because I wasn't going to wait all the way until the end of the year to read the story. But and me being a sucker for variants, yes, I want, and I bought the 1 through 21 out of 25 variant, the one that shows Kimberly Hart morphed on the top and her in much old, when in the present day at the bottom, in the diamond with the white cover, the virgin variant. Yes, I did it. Yeah, but that's just me. I just had to. Well, I have to say this about this book. Spoilers ahead. This is a good book. This is definitely a good book. A good story. And I definitely want to see what the other 3 issues are going to be about. But just having read the first issue, and I know other Power Rangers fans are going to have this opinion. Not everybody. I just know some other Power Ranger fans, just like myself, are going to have this opinion. I will say that so far, after this first issue, that this first issue was better than Power Rangers Once a Ranger, Always a Ranger. There, I said it. And yes, it is. The story was interesting. It kept you gripped into what was going on, seeing what happened to the Rangers 20 years later. I think it's 20 years or 22 years later, after they defeated Lord Zedd and Rita. And let's just go through this. So apparently the team, all 6 of them, they defeated Lord Zedd and Rita, I think 20 or 22 years ago. And from what we saw from issue #1, we found out that, of course, it was a big price to pay for beating the team, for beating Lord Zedd and Rita. Now, we don't know all the details yet, but we do find out not even halfway through the book that Tommy didn't make it. Tommy passed away in 2001. And we don't know how he did it. I think he was KIA, killed in action, while he was a Ranger. And then they had to pass it off like, something else killed him off just because they didn't want his secret of a Power Ranger to be known. I don't know. We could speculate that about later, but Tommy is not there. We also found out that Trini's not also there, that she passed away, but through the conversation with Zach and Billy and Kimberly, who was going by the name Emma because she wants to forget the tragic thing that happened in her past. She's not being known as Kimberly Hart. She's going by a new name. She's going by the name of Emma Phillips, and she lives in Canada now. And through a conversation with Zach and Billy, when they met at a pizzeria and they're eating in the restaurant, that we found out also during the speech that Billy was giving, showing the opening of the Trini's, she was being honored for being a huge help in humanitarian aid and being Angel Grove's longest serving mayor. And we saw a picture of an older Trini, and through conversations between Billy, Zach, and Kimberly, we found out that Trini died of an illness. We don't know what the illness was, but Billy did blame himself because he said himself that he started experimenting with the morpher and the morphing grid and the Power Rangers technology sooner, he could have found a way to cure her disease. But Kimberly immediately squashes that and says it's not his fault. But during that conversation, we found out that Trini did live to be older, but she died of an illness, and she was Angel Grove's longest serving mayor. We also found out that Zach Taylor, he revealed himself as the Black Ranger. He's tremendously popular, but by doing this, they kept everybody else's secret. So they lied to the public and said all the other Rangers were different people from across the globe, and that he was the only Ranger actually from Angel Grove. But they did that to protect everybody else's identity. We saw shots of Vulcan Skull there and being older, and Ernie, of course, retired, and he was smiling because they named the juice bar after the juice bar and the youth center after Trini Kwan, and it was just really touching. I mean, we got to see a lot happen. Damn. And we also, at the beginning, if you saw the very beginning, we saw that Jason was taken out by a mysterious force, and that's another reason why they called Kim together, not just for the dedication of the youth center and the juice bar in Trini's name, but because everyone was staying in contact. And then Jason went MIA a little while ago because he couldn't take not helping people. They said a couple years back, Jason was a firefighter, and a lot of people were killed in this fire, and it ate him up inside because he had the power to help people, but they promised each other 22 years ago that they weren't going to morph anymore. And that's still a secret why they weren't going to morph anymore. I guess we're going to find that out in issue 2, I hope. He broke the promise, and he started, and Billy told us in a flashback story that we got to see in issue number 1 that first he just started rescuing people who were in bad situations, but then afterwards he started fighting crime, and then he went all the way on the board and started going on anti-terrorism missions by himself. And in one of the coolest panels, we get to see Jason using his power sword to slash through an armored vehicle, which I thought was great. And he was doing all this, and he requested that Billy and Zach not access the morphing grid so he can stay morphed all the time. Everything was fine, and then they said they lost contact with him a little while ago, and they're trying to find Jason. So they were thinking of all 3 of them breaking the promise. They should break the promise together. So Billy devised a plan that they should break the promise, have a plan, and using Kimberly's Zord, because Kimberly's Zord is, and we found out from Billy that it's the only Zord left, and also because it can fly. They said, well, because her Zord can fly. I don't know if it's the only one left, because we saw in the panel that we saw the Mastodon Zord there during Zach's festival, because real fast, Zach has a festival every year that promotes clean energy, and it helps raise money for anything that people might need, using his popularity as a Black Ranger. But that's what I remember Billy saying, that because the Zord can fly, and it's the help try to track down Jason and trying to find out what happened to him. But Kimberly does not want to break that promise because she lost so much. So we can speculate that Tommy was KIA, why he was in Ranger form. And you already know what Zordon said about it. When you're in Ranger form, yes, you are stronger than what a normal human being is capable of. But also, if you happen to perish while you're in Ranger form, that's it for you. You're done. You're dead, and it ain't no coming back. So knowing that, that's probably sitting in the back of her mind, which means I'm only speculating that Tommy saved Kimberly in the final battle, and it just cost too much, and she thinks that she did something wrong, and that's why she doesn't want to be a Power Ranger anymore. And that's completely understandable, seeing what they've all been through. And we can also speculate, like in the beginning of the book, we saw just 5 of the Rangers. We saw the teleportation of Kimberly, Zach, Billy, Trini, and Jason teleport to the moon, and then the moon explodes, which means that the 5 Rangers went up there for the final battle against Lord Zed and Rita, and then they were able to defeat them, which means Tommy was KIA before the final battle. That's what I'm speculating from what I've seen in the panels of the comic. And it pulls on a lot of heartstrings. We're already down. We're down 3 Rangers already out of a 6 Ranger team from the original team. We're down 3 Rangers already. Jason has been kidnapped by the mysterious force. Tommy has been KIA, and Trini passed away from an illness. We're down half the team already. So this is, but also here comes the speculation again. If you've seen the artwork for the cover of the hardcover for the return, we saw the Green Ranger, and you can obviously tell just by the body shape of the individual that the Green Ranger is female. So what leads me to believe that, and I'm just speculating now, that Tommy and Kimberly had a daughter, and she moved away because she didn't want no one else to find out about it. And since if they're following the continuity of the television show, remember they are following the continued continuity of the television show, that Rita and Lord Zed, they know everybody's identity. So in case they were still around, and after they finished them off, in case anyone, they wouldn't come track her down. So that's why I think she changed her name, because in case evil wasn't going for good, she didn't have to worry about looking over her shoulder for the rest of her life. And she raised their daughter in secrecy in another country, so no one would find out. And then also the big surprise here at the end of the book, we get a relative of Trini's. Trini was her mom's cousin, and she shows up with Trini's morpher, which means she told people. She told her closest family members, Trini did, before she passed. And her cousin's, Trini's cousin's daughter, shows up on Kimberly Hart's doorstep saying, you're going to help me train to be the next Power Ranger. So that has it right there. So now we can see, after Kimberly gets over what she has gone through, her traumatic past, that we can see now that now we have the new team. So Kimberly and Tommy's daughter is going to be the new Green Ranger, and Trini's cousin's daughter is going to be the new Yellow Ranger. And then we have, Jason still being around, even though he's not morphed right now, because that whoever attacked him took his power core and morpher. And we still have Zach and Billy, and of course Kimberly. So I can't wait to see what is going on here, to see who the bad guy is. I mean, I have some idea, but I want to get more information. I have to read the book one more time to see if I can speculate. But of course, everything was done in shadow, so we don't know quite who it is. But overall, the book was great. In my opinion, it was better than and I liked Once and Always. Once a Ranger, Always a Ranger. I liked that special. I watched Once a Ranger, Always a Ranger 12 times. Yes, I did. I watched it 12 times. And as much as I like it, I think this first issue of Power Rangers #1, The Return, was better than it. To be quite frankly honest, it was. I'll be bringing you more Power Rangers videos, especially showing what I would like to see the Zords do. The next one up, because we're following the old rotation, will be Billy and the Triceratops Zord, and how I think they should do some things to improve on the design and the overall functionality of the Triceratops Zord. But getting back to the rest of this book, it was very well written. It kept me engaged. If you're a Power Rangers fan and you followed the mythos all this long, you'll definitely like it, to see where everybody is, how the rest of the story is going to come together. And definitely you want to see what happened to the team, what big sacrifice that they have to do. Of course, we kind of know with Tommy not being there, being KIA, but we want to see how it happened. You know, we want to see how it happened. We want to see also just everything that happened during that day and when they decided to stop being Power Rangers. And I also want to see them take on this new threat with the two new members and see how they're going to come up on top and win, and see if this is something that's going to go along with the other continuity they have for Power Rangers. Is this going to be Power Rangers of a different universe and we get some more adventures after these 4 issues are up, or whether they're just going to leave it where it is? But the artwork was great. The dialogue was great. The story had a nice pace to it, and I enjoyed them seeing them continue the continuity from an alternate perspective. I really did enjoy that, and I'm looking forward to see more. Now, tell me what you think about all this, about everything that the team has been through, the huge sacrifice, and all the things that they're going to have to do to win. And do you think Jason is still alive? Do you think Jason is still alive, or has he been taken out like Tommy? Another thing I want to say before I close this video, they were very good. Matt Hodson and Amy Jo Johnson did a very good. They did very good. They did this in a very good way, showing each of the Rangers and how they were grieving and how they choose to do it. Grief. You can see that Zach has chosen to press forward and still be happy, even though he's been through a lot. Billy does still hold on to some things because his best friend Trini died, but he's been able to keep it together and deal with it in a healthy way. You can see out of everybody, Jason has handled it the worst, him going on his own single crusade to stop the remnants of evil that's all around. Even though it's not monsters, it's human beings running around doing harm to one another, but he's trying to stop it so no one else has to lose like he lost. And you see Kimberly also, she's hesitant to get involved and wants to, she still hasn't healed. It's a big scar for her, and it hasn't healed, and she doesn't want anything to do with her former self in such a way that she blatantly lied to, Trini's cousin's daughter and said, she didn't want anything to do what was going on. But tell me what you think about all this. Like, share, and subscribe if you feel like it. I'll see you in the next one, and may the power protect you.